Hello, students. So we're back in online schooling again. So we're going to start off with a quick drama assignment. And I know that we've already done monologues before in term one, and we're going to do them again. Previous time, you had to choose a well-known personality, and you wrote a script where it's almost like a think aloud, as if we could kind of hear your thoughts inside your head as that person, in a way that matched their personality, using their voice and using the kind of phrases they would use. This time, however, you're all going to be acting the role of a news reporter. And instead of having a famous personality, instead you're going to be choosing a strange breaking news headline for which you're going to report on as a news reporter. And you're going to be writing that in the form of a script. The first thing you're going to do is, in a moment, you're going to be reading a PDF to kind of see the list of strange headlines that you can choose from. The ones that I'm giving you for this first time, they're weather-based and they're sports-based. And again, they're strange headlines. And I will allow duplicates, so if 2 people or 3 people want to do the same headline, that's fine, because you might come up with a different report for the same headline. Okay, so I'm going to show you that PDF now, and you have this attached as well. Just opening. Oops. Uh-oh, hang on. Let's try that again. Okay, so your PDF will look something like this. So the first one here says weather headlines. And then if you scroll down to the second page, it looks something like this, sports headlines. And so you'll see, for instance, one of the weather ones, it says, bowling ball hail wreaks havoc on city. So bowling ball sized hail. Normally it's not that big. Tornado chasers accidentally run into forest fire. Massive iceberg floats 1,000 miles without melting. Or squirrel starts forest fire. Right? For the sports ones, they're just as strange. Right? So, for example, world heavyweight boxing champ adopts 10 children. Short basketball player awarded most valuable player. So that would be a hard one to report on, because how do you make sense of that? Hare finally defeats tortoise. So like that's a play on the story where the tortoise, they always say, the tortoise is slow and steady and he wins the race. And the rabbit tires himself out. So in this case, they're saying the rabbit actually wins. Okay, so you can, this is a funny one. Swim champion drowns in bathtub. So you can choose one of these. The only one I'm going to ask you not to choose is the first one that says Niagara Falls. They spelled it wrong. Niagara Falls dries up. And the reason for that is I'm going to do that as an example for you. Okay, so do not do the one that says Niagara Falls dries up. That one is not allowed. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example right now. Give me 1 second. So one of the files that I have attached for you is this news report of Elon Musk from Tesla unveiling his new pickup truck. It's actually pretty funny, and the headline is Tesla's bumpy truck. Pickup truck rollout doesn't go as planned, and they've also the YouTube headline is Tesla's Cybertruck launch goes terribly wrong. You could take that in any number of ways, actually. So I'm just gonna play this. It's pretty well done. So just watch.
I present to you the Cybertruck.
With fog, fire, and strobe lights, Elon Musk unveiled Tesla's new battery-powered Cybertruck, a Mad Max meets DeLorean version of a pickup. Made of ultra-thick stainless steel, but when Tesla's chief designer used a metal ball to demonstrate the windows were shatterproof, things didn't go so well.
Oh my God.
Not once, but twice.
Oh man, not bad. Room for improvement.
Musk insists his Cybertruck is strong, with batteries able to go up to 500 miles. Starting price, $39,900. While the crowd cheered, a lot of online reaction has been mixed at best. From the Cybertruck is awesome to, man, Elon really nailed the design of the new Tesla, and sorry, it's ugly, and the actual buyers of pickups will tell you the same. It's that mass pickup market that Tesla is hoping to crack, appealing to owners to go electric.
I think it's a Blade Runner. I think it's one where it's great to pull up to parties in 2021, 2022. Outside of that, it's going to be hard for this to get mass.
The Cybertruck delivery date, 2021. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.
All right, so you have got that clip on there as well, and that was a really good example of a report that was, I mean, the guy was being serious, but he also did it in a way where it was actually kind of funny. And of course, part of it as well was that, you know, the unveiling really didn't work out at all. Okay, so so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you some time, open up that PDF file, and I would like you to choose a headline for yourself. And again, please do not choose Niagara Falls dries up. All right. Once you've got your headline chosen, you're then going to go into a document that I've attached for you to do your script in. I'm just going to find that document right now. It's this one here, News Report Monologue, Google Docs. And when you open it up, it'll look something. Just give it a moment. You'll each get your own copy, of course. It'll look something like this. So you'll see on there, there's a level 2, level 3, level 4 rubric. Okay, I'll go through this with you in a moment. But for now, with your headline, I'd like you to type your name. So let's save my name. Hello. It's slow. And then the headline, Niagara Falls dries up, or runs dry. I can't remember whichever one it was. Okay, and this part here, your script for the news report below. We'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, so go look at the PDF, choose your headline, open up the file, put your name in, and put the headline in, and then we'll talk in about 5 minutes or so. Okay, so go do that now, please. Okay, so now that you've chosen your headline, we're going to look at what the scripts actually look like and some of the differences that level 2, 3, 4 will have. All right, so we're going to work on part A, writing the script. Okay, a good script will be between 2 to 3 minutes long. And it says I provided some examples of the rubric with which your script will be assessed. So if you take a look with the attached files, there's a second PDF here. It says News Report Exemplars. And if you open that up, which I'm going to do in a moment. So when you open it up, it'll look something like this. Each page has a different leveled script. So this is a level 2. Level 3, you'll notice it's a bit longer. And level 4, it's a bit longer still. Now, don't think that longer and more is always better. It's not just about quantity, it's also about the quality. So just because you write more doesn't necessarily mean it's better. And we're going to talk about why. So in this first one, you'll see that the level 2 example, it's not particularly descriptive. The news reporter has no voice, meaning they sound like anybody and everybody at the same time. They have absolutely no personality. Doesn't sound like anyone unique. And they also don't really describe a report on the headline making news. They're kind of really off topic. All right, so I'm going to read this to you. Niagara Falls dries up. Rob, this is Jeffrey Tran coming to you live from the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. There it is, and so beautiful. Oh, and look, a rainbow over the American side of the falls. There seems to be a lot of tourists and visitors, even though it's a Monday and Niagara Falls has dried up quite a bit this year. While you're here visiting, if you ever get the chance, try riding in the Maid of the Mist. For those of you that don't know, that's the boat ride that takes you up the Niagara River and brings you so close that you might get soaking wet. Back to you, Rob. So you see, I really don't talk about why it's dried up or how it's dried up. I just say it's dried up. There's not really much personality to it. They kind of just give some random facts, and it's not particularly descriptive. Maybe besides, oh so beautiful. All right. If you take a look at the level 3, this one you'll see it's a bit more descriptive. You're starting to have some personality, some voice, which means you might develop some words or phrases that kind of make your person stand out. You stay on topic. You report on the headline that's making news. It's not that engaging though, the way it's written. Okay, so I'm going to read this one to you as well. And this is 2+ minutes. Okay. Rob, this is Jeffrey Tran coming to you live and looking at lovely Niagara Falls in Ontario, Canada. For our viewers who've never been to the falls, there's a constant hum as tons of water rush over the cliff and crash down into the gorge while sending up massive clouds of mist in the sky, leaving you slightly wet, even though the sun is shining and the skies are blue and clear. Now, Rob, the falls usually gets around 30 million people visiting per year, but this year, because of COVID-19, the falls can't seem to attract enough people. It's almost as if it's gone dry and there's nothing to see because there's no tourists. For now, if you want to enjoy the falls, they've set up a 24-hour Zoom camera so that you can virtually visit and check out this natural wonder of the world. However, local residents in the Niagara area hope that the pandemic ends sooner than later so that people can start traveling and spending their money again. Reporting from the Canadian side of Niagara Falls, I'm Jeffrey Tran. Back to you, Rob. So you can see, a bit better. Stays on topic. They actually talk about what they mean by Niagara Falls dries up. In this case, they don't mean literally. They mean metaphorically. It's kind of like, ants in your pants. You don't actually have ants in your pants. Just you can't sit still, as if you had ants in your pants. So in this case, it's almost as if the falls have dried up because nobody's going to go see it, although it actually hasn't dried up. All right. It's a little bit boring still, right? It's not particularly engaging, although there is a bit more of a voice. Right, they start to talk about things like, it's much more descriptive. They give more detail, right? But it's better than the first one, but I don't think it's fantastic. And here's a level 4 one, and you'll see it's more descriptive still. The news reporter has a noticeable personality and voice, and they're able to make sense of the strange headline in a clever, funny, or engaging way, right? So if you want to be a little bit witty with this, if you want to be kind of clever with this, it doesn't have to be realistic. In fact, it's probably better if it's not. You can have a bit of fun with it. Definitely do that and see if you can kind of do an engaging kind of report. All right, so here's the level 4. Just make sure that whatever you write is appropriate for school, though, okay? Rob, this is Jeffrey Tran coming to you live from the normally wet, yet today is dry as a desert, Canadian side of Niagara Falls. If I can get the camera to look over the fence into the gorge, our camera lens would normally be wet and we'd get a blurry picture, but not today. Dry as a bone. You can see the rocks on the riverbed and quite a bit of junk that's washed or thrown over the falls. I think I might do some treasure hunting later down there. Anyways, our viewers at home might be wondering why or even how a waterfall can even be dry. Well, I spoke earlier with the Vice President of Operations for the Niagara River Corporation, and he tells me that the Niagara River, after running non-stop, continuous, and for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is feeling down, depressed, and tired. Yes, that's right. You heard it here first. The Niagara River is burnt out. The VP also tells me that after consulting with the Americans on the other side of the river, they've decided that the best way to solve this was to give the river a break and let it rest for a day or two. So they turned the Niagara River off further upstream, and Niagara Falls now just falls, but without the water. Don't worry though, the corporation knows that Niagara Falls is one of the world's natural wonders and gets over 30 million visitors a year. They assure me that tomorrow or the day after, or maybe the week after that, the Niagara River will be well rested and be allowed to run, flow, and fall like we're used to seeing it. Okay, back to you, Rob. Okay, so quite a bit longer, much more voice. It's almost like you can kind of see a person in front. Some of it's a little bit, cheesy. but that's okay because at least it has voice. You might come up with a slightly different kind of voice. It doesn't have to be like my kind of voice, but that's okay. At least come up with a voice if you can. All right. And again, the headline was kind of resolved and kind of it made sense in a kind of a really bizarre way, and I'm okay with that too as long as it's appropriate. Okay. So what you're going to do now is in the file that I showed you earlier on, that's the one that looks like this. You've got the exemplar there for you to refer to. You can also look at the video again if you want to kind of see me read it. You're now going to write your version of the script here below, and you're going to want to either read it to me in a breakout room or read it to someone or yourself actually, and just kind of see what it sounds like, and then you're going to submit it at some point today, probably about, let's say, half an hour or so, and then after that we're going to start practicing and rehearsing so that you can present the report. Okay, so I'll stay on, and if you have questions I'll take them. Okay, so you can get to work now. Thanks.